Hey, this is a video response to Zigzagzo's video, Movies and Songs. Zach, I just wanted to tell you that I also am a huge fan of The First Wives Club. I have it on DVD. It's my favorite movie to put on while I'm cleaning. I don't know why, but I just like hearing all the dialogue. Like, I can quote any of it at the drop of a hat. And the funny thing is, it's not even one of my favorite movies. I just really like it a lot. One of my favorite parts is when they're all fighting and they're at Elise's penthouse, and she's like kind of hungover and she insults them and she says something, and you know, Bette Midler just kind of loses it. She starts calling her this big lush. Let's examine the evidence. And she pulls up the garbage can. Oh look, all bottles. And Elise goes, I have guests. And Brenda goes, who? Guns N' Roses? It's so funny that you're talking about that song by Billy Porter, Love Is On The Way, because I actually went to see his one-man show. It was a cabaret called Ghetto Superstar, and he did this about maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, like 3 years ago, I think. My boyfriend at the time and I went because we saw this poster, and in the poster, it's this man. You can't really see so much that it's him. It's just this guy with dreadlocks, and he's kind of like striking this pose, and the dreads are kind of like in his face, and he's got on this suit, and you can tell he's like singing this really like strong note. And then you look down and you see he's wearing red high heels, and I just thought that was fucking fabulous. And so we wanted to go see that, and I loved him. And as soon as we got to the show, I was like, oh my god, that's the guy from the Lonely Hearts Club. And then he talked about singing that song for the First Wives Club soundtrack, and how it was a really big thing for him, and the studio was gonna push that single because, you know, they just felt like it was the really like emotional part of the film, and that was his song. And then they ended up giving that song to Celine Dion, and he was so pissed. He's still very pissed about it. And it was just so much fun listening to him talk about how when you listen to her version of the song, it is identical, note for note, to his version of the song. And he like played his part, and then they'd pause it and they'd cut to Celine and play, and it was just exactly the same. And anyway, I thought you might appreciate that if you didn't already know. For myself, there's one song that takes me to this very emotional place, and it's not even like this great song that many people know. It's actually a musical theater song, and it's from the Broadway show In the Heights. This song is called Paciencia y Fe, and this is Abuela Claudia's big number in the Heights. So, okay, I'm gonna have to set the preface for you. The show is set in Washington Heights. I've talked about this 100 times. I'm sure you're all sick of it, but I want to talk about it because I love this song.
I got a it's hot, but that's okay. My mom would say, Paciencia y Fe.
So in the show, Abuela Claudia is like the old woman who lives on the block, and she's kind of like everybody's like sort of grandmother, and she's just sort of a background person throughout most of the show. But there's this one moment where she kind of steps out and just belts out this incredible song.
In Nueva York, we can see beyond our
street lights. She's singing about remembering growing up as very poor, and how it was just her and her mother, and they were always hungry. So they came to New York, and they learned English and got jobs working as housekeepers, and it stretched over her whole life in New York. And now her mother is gone, she's dead, and it's just her, and she still hears her mother's voice in her head, and it guides her. And oh my, like, I'm gonna start getting emotional right now. During the show, when she's singing, I'm like this. Like, I sob. I don't know what it taps into. Maybe I am a poor little old woman inside. I think I'm really a strong black woman inside, but something about that song just zaps a raw part of me. Every time I see it, I weep. I weep like a bitch. This is my favorite part.
Got a job working as a maid. So we cleaned some homes while she would cry, scrubbing the whole of the Upper East Side. The days into weeks, the weeks into years, and here I stay. What do you do when your dreams come true? I spend my life inheriting dreams from you.
So I just dorked out. I had like a little moment to myself, and anytime that song comes on my headphones, no matter what I'm doing, I get emotional and like my eyes will start to water. I love it. You have to go see the show, and thank you for indulging me in my moments.
Alright, Mama! Okay! Paciencia y Fe.